Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chumps. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV.
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Good evening, fellow Fox fans. Everton 1, Leicester City 1. No, we didn't. Brad said he was having a bit of fun with technology earlier, so am I. We'll try that. Maybe we should have won, though. What do you think? Hey, this is Leicester
You are
Till
watching
I Die.
Leicester Till I Die TV.
and it's live.
We certainly are, and you can catch us live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter and Periscope. Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube, Leicester Till I Die the group on Facebook, and at Leicester TID on Twitter and Periscope. Let us know what you think. Let us know, should we have got the 3 points? Hey, and if you're on YouTube and you're watching, do us a favour, click that little button, give us a subscribe. Disappointed. Personally, I thought we could have won. I want to hear what you think, though. Let me know what you think. I got the score right. I was a bit worried before the game, but did our performance deserve the 3 points? Was it 2 points thrown away? But it was away on a wet night in Scousland. But I'm going to ask my chat chum colleague and see what he thinks. Now, some say he was born 2021 years ago. Some say he only works on a Sunday. And some people say he can turn wine back into water. All we know is he's called the Brad. Sorry there, I clicked the wrong button. That should have been that button that I clicked. Good evening, Brad.
I'm going. See you later. Evening, Chris. Evening.
In fairness, I did do my homework when I did that, and I actually came up. I think you must have been out, because I did come up and visit your flat, and you got a very, very, very helpful flatmate.
Now, you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now, go away.
I mean, there's no need for that, surely. No need for that.
Oh, dear. What time did you get to sleep thinking of that idea, mate?
I tell you what, I need to get a life. This is what lockdown does to you.
Oh, can tell.
I'm going to say good evening to Mr. and Mrs. Ahern. Good evening there, Brett. How the devil are you, sir? Brett says, great performance, but feel we should have got all 3 points. Shame back for Fana not closing down. Shame after a poor first touch. I think it kind of hit him, but we'll come on to that. And Luke says, good evening, both. Thanks for joining us, Luke. Should we have won that, Brad? Why are you doing that? What I'm going to do is, if you want to join in with the chat and just come on for a quick 2 or 3 minutes to tell us live what you thought, I'm about to post, or I'm going to try and post the link in the Facebook group. I'll put it here as well, but I think this only goes to YouTube and Periscope. But there's the link. Yeah, YouTube and Periscope. I'll put it in Facebook just while Brad goes and tells us whether he thinks we should have had all 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them games, wasn't it, where Leicester fans probably at the start, and I don't think there was too many fans out there that would have not taken a draw before a ball was kicked. I actually thought Everton were quite poor tonight. They don't look like a side that's done well over the course of the season, and you know, and you know, every game we've had in the season where every team has a one-off performance, and maybe that is just it. I mean, we don't sit here and watch Everton religiously, so I don't know how they've been over the last few weeks. So no, I think you're entitled to concede a goal if it's hit with that sort of class that Rodriguez hits it with. You can't do, it's sod's law. You can't do nothing about a goal like that. But yeah, I think the fact that fans and the players and your manager probably come off thinking that was a good performance, but disappointed not to come away with 3 points. It says a lot about how well they performed. I think tonight's performance, and we deserve to come away with something. It'd have been very difficult to have taken if we'd have come away with nothing. So I suppose you could look at it that way. It's always good to get a point away from home. You always say if you do well at home, and you don't lose too many away games, which obviously our away record this season is quite good. You're going to do well in this league, and that's why we're third in the table, because you grind out our results. And let's remember, we just won 5 games in a row, I believe, in all competitions, and I think that's extended our unbeaten run to 9 games. And Everton were, ironically, the last side to beat us in the league.
So I was just about to say that. Yes.
Yeah. So you got any other points to add on to that, really? Because that's just where it is. It was just one of them games where you come away frustratedly happy, but all the questions before the game, especially with the obvious talking point, the elephant in the room, Vardy. I think for the first time in a long time when Vardy's not been playing, you already went into the game fairly confident that at least 90% of that team, and we know our struggling area is the replacement for Vardy, was going to do a job and do it well, and they did. And it was just one of them. On another night, we would have got 3 points, unlike a certain team that we'll get to when we talk about the table.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just getting a pre-laugh in.
Good evening to that Facebook user. I'm all right. Hope you are as well. Don't know who you are because you've not put your name on there or signed in. Luke, not going to win them all, but in the past we'd have got nothing from tonight's game.
Yeah.
Did well to get the point, but could have easily got all 3. Yuri should have closed down James. Told you months ago you can rely on Vardy. That's my point, no striker. And I think he means Vardy, obviously. And Mark, good evening. Mark, how the devil are you, sir? If Vardy would have been playing, he would have had a hatful, but he wasn't. The chances we made, especially second half, were impressive. Barnes, great tonight. Going to bring in Theum. Now, I don't know if you can hear me at all, Theum.
Yeah, boss.
Hello, mate. How you doing? Is your camera not working?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was at Old Trafford.
I've got a picture of you, but or not of you, but a picture of a Leicester player. What did you think of the game tonight?
I think we deserve to win, but it's a draw. I will take that.
Do you think Vardy would have done better if he'd been on?
Yeah, I think because the Madison chance, we should score that chance.
We have. They were parking the bus, weren't they?
I think it has been a tough draw today.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Theum, and for your thoughts. Join us again, mate. All the best and stay safe. Got rid of too many there. Let me bring you back in there, Brad. Do you think Vardy? I mean, they very much played like they did at our place. They at one, they had everybody back. would Vardy in that game tonight, everybody's saying he would have got a hatful. I actually wrote down here, would he have actually got the chances? Because there wasn't that space for him, I don't think. Was there a lot of space for him to run in behind?
Look, there's no point looking back on any result going forward while Vardy's not available and saying, well, if Vardy this, Vardy. No, there's not always a guarantee because Vardy has gone missing. People forget that even like last season, he went 8, 9, 10 games without scoring. And look, what Vardy offers is a world-class player. And I'll argue with anyone that's not a Leicester fan that doesn't agree with me saying he's not a world-class player, because he is, right? He's one of them players that you get a select few, and Man City buy them in bulk, like they're going through their own pandemic, the way they buy their world-class players and talents, and whatever you think of Manchester United, they've got one in Bruno Fernandes, and whatever you think of him, they've got one in them. You can't deny talent. That's something you can't deny. Liverpool, might not be having the best of seasons. But they have theirs, and I could name clubs for days going on about them. And you have these players that you're always going to miss. They always bring a bit extra to it, and maybe when Vardy doesn't get the goal, he stretches the midfield. He stretches the opposition's defence. Of course, something could have been a bit different with Vardy on the pitch, but he's not. So get used to it, because he's not. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, whether we like it or lump it, we've at least not got him for the next 2 games. Let's provide orders to come back. What we did today without him was pretty good, and it was deserving of 3 points. And you've got to look past the fact that Vardy wasn't there, because you're right. I'm sorry. If anyone doesn't agree with me, and if an Everton fans come on here and doesn't agree with me, I think you were bad tonight. I think you disappointed me, because I expected a rough and tumble game where Everton were going to say, look, we're going to have to go at Leicester because they haven't got the main man. They're going to have to be creative from somewhere else. Let's give a go at them and try and get 2 goals. Even when they took the lead, they looked like they were playing from the draw from the minute the whistle blew. I don't remember Casper making a save. I don't remember him making a save of any note anyway. So,
So Mark said, I have to say, Under looked very lively and direct.
I like Under. We know that.
Bookline started the Soyuncu from Fofana era. Under is the better choice when the defence is playing deep. Lots of above-average performances. Buy Maddison some vitamins so he can beat the first defender on crosses. Again, it wasn't his best day for crosses or free kicks. I think the next 4 games are critical in the league. Leeds, Fulham, Wolves, Brighton, all winnable going into the Liverpool game. Good evening, Rob. Let's bring hello. And is it you're going to have to pronounce the name for me there. Oh, can you hear me? We're struggling to hear you.
Hey, mate. You okay?
Hello, bro.
Hello there. What did you think of the game?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
You can?
I think we're struggling. Try and log in again, mate. I think we're struggling to hear you, and you've frozen there.
It seems to have frozen. That was unfortunate. It's nice to get people joining. Keep trying to join people if you want to get on.
Good start from City, though.
Yeah, we were, if you'd have watched them first 20 minutes, we completely dominated the game, then it got a bit nitty gritty. I don't like players like Richarlison in the sense of he got away with a lot today. And I know it might sound a bit pedantic, but he does niggly fouls, and he did a wise job. And I know he's breaking up play, but he got away with getting a yellow card for a long time in that game for his persistent fouling, which is something that's quite common. And until they started doing that, they weren't in the game at all. We was all over them. And like I said, I was just thinking before it happened, it's going to take something special for these to score tonight, because they're not doing much. And then, i.e., commentator's curse, you could give it. As I said that to myself, wallop 1-0.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was a point in the game that Everton really controlled. I mean, I know Richarlison had that header near the end, which anywhere else, would have probably been a winner for him. But I think we were pretty decent in that first 20 minutes.
I don't think that it was almost like they were the away side and they were going for the draw, because they just weren't. I think they were doing what they were trying to do when at the King Power, which was sort of soak the pressure up, which they were doing very well, and then hit us on the break. but I just felt like, it was so negative from them.
Yeah, it kind of, in a way, reminded me of that Crystal Palace game where we drew. And I know we didn't have the most uproaring performance against Palace and probably didn't test them as much and that, but the same sort of thing happened. They, like I said, even when they took the lead, it wasn't like that gave Everton the rocket up the arse and all of a sudden they were stringing passes together and pinging it forward and around our box and we were making last-ditch challenges. You want if you'd have been watching that game and you didn't have a scoreboard at the top and you didn't know who was winning, you'd have thought Leicester were winning. And like you said, you'd have thought Leicester were the home side because it was. And that was, and when it's a frustrating result because we didn't get the win we were expecting a performance, that's the sort of performance you want to see. You want to see a team that goes away from home and still looks like the better side and still looks like the team that's going to win it. I don't think there was anyone out there that isn't an Everton fan, obviously, that when the scores were level thought Everton might win this, they're going to sneak this. How about everybody out there, like I said, apart from obviously Everton fans, were going, there's only one team that's going to win it if there's another goal, and it would have been us. I'm sorry, but it rightfully would have been us if we'd have got it.
We literally... It was almost like a complete opposite to the Premier League winning season. We had so much possession. We were doing it. You could see our goal coming. It was just a matter of when rather than if. We were throwing everything bar the kitchen sink at them. And as somebody said earlier, they parked the bus.
Yeah, they did, and that's what I mean. That's why Everton really disappointed me tonight. They beat us at our place, one of the few sides that have beat us this season. And I give them a lot of credit in that game. I think they did well. But tonight they didn't have any flair, any urgency. And like I said, from the second the referee, Mike Dean, blew his whistle at the start of the game, Everton just kind of went, beep, beep, we'll take the point, please. As if to say, we don't want to go and overcommit because we know the damage that Leicester can do. And I think in a way, we made Everton look bad despite getting away with, because they got away with it, let's face it, they got away with not losing that game today. And I think that shows just how far we've come as a club over the coming seasons and how well we're doing this season, that Everton went, do not give them a sniff. I'll put 12 men behind the ball if I can. We just want to get away with the point. If we can get away with it here and get out of this game without a defeat, then go. Then we'll take it. And I think Ancelotti, I think them players before a ball was kicked would have snapped your arm off for a 0-0 or 1-1 today.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of seasons ago, that might have been a game that we would have lost. But
yeah, definitely.
Well, we've got another special guest coming in now. Now, this guy, he was on earlier. Now we can't upset him because he's quite a tough guy. He knows a lot of people that can come round and shove Lucky Heather where he doesn't want to go. We've actually got Tyson Fury to come in and join us.
Bloody heck.
Good evening, Tyson.
Here he is, the old Nosser. The old Nosser's going to go 3 rounds. 3 rounds to the back.
I was going to say, I meant to say this on the pre-match show, because me and Chris have both got shaved heads, and you've got the long hair like Charles Manson. We could become a cult, couldn't we?
What I hate now, come on. You can't say that word too quickly. You'll end up saying something else. Don't say the word cult too quickly.
I tell you what, Josh, it would definitely be a cult because we have Jesus with us.
That's it, exactly.
Do you know what? There's actually a genuine funny, well, I say funny story behind the reason that I'm still persistent with Jesus look, and it's not because of the weather. When I used to work for Leicester, my first season, ironically, was our championship winning season. And I was, I'd just come back from living in Ireland at this time, and I'd just come back living with my mum at the time. And my mum used to drive her wild because she loved my hair being short and she wanted me to be clean shaven and that. And no, you got to have a shave, No. And obviously I said, no, Leicester hadn't lost, so I wasn't going to do it. And we played Watford, and before we played Watford, I gave up. I went, right, I've had enough. I'm going to the hairdressers. I'm getting it cut. I'm getting the bed. But if we lose, it's your fault, Mum. And if anyone remembers that game, Watford went 2-0 down. And obviously, Danny Drinkwater scored that late goal. And we got 2-2. And my mum rang me at full time when I was able to get out the ground. She went, "Oh, I'll watch that game. I've never watched a Leicester game," and I watched it, going, "Oh God, I've cursed them. What have I done?" And now I'm on it. We haven't lost in about 8 or 9 games, and I've not had a shave, so it's staying. So
Well,
I'll take
what,
it.
let it grow down. Let it grow down, and see how long it goes.
I'll be ready for Santa Claus.
It suits you anyway, mate. It suits you.
Somebody says there a bunch of cults, and I think he may have spelt that wrong there. Mark says he thought it was a Well, I tell you what, who's the one? Well, you and me are dead, Josh. The one that's still alive with all the hair is Brad, obviously.
Brad would be Barry. It's Barry that's still alive, isn't it? Barry Gibb.
That's it, yeah. And Brett says Boyle's Blue Oyster Cult. Showing your age there, Brett. I'll tell you, I remember them. Josh, getting back and away from Jesus and Tyson Fury. Indeedy, injured again.
But do you know how? I've not heard how bad it is. What's the latest on it? Do you know?
I haven't heard, to be honest with you, but whether it was just a precaution. I mean, he walked off, didn't he? So, hopefully it's not too bad. But, Mendy, I had no problems with Mendy coming on. I felt very confident in him doing a job for us.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Like you say, when Wilf went down and he was down for ages, I thought, oh God, no again. But like you say, he walked off, and hopefully it was just a case of Brendan taking precautions and saying, no, obviously he's just come back from a long-term injury, tight hamstring, just a comment there. Like you say, mate, Mendy coming on, I had no qualms with that, because he always does a job for us anyway. But it's it was worrying, put it that way. It was really worrying.
Brad, some Facebook user here says he's heard Adrian Durham, and let's be honest with you, we know that these
talk something. That's what they're called. Talk something. I don't know
we know they are there. They're not always going to say nice things because they want you to ring up. It's like what I post in the Facebook group isn't always what I believe, but I post it because I think it will cause a stir and get people to talk. But Adrian Durham apparently said that once Vardy retires, then Leicester City will be a yo-yo club.
Or now hear me out on this. It sounds like far-fetched as it might seem, but maybe, just maybe, Leicester go out and doing a bit of stupid business with their scouting team. Or Admiral Musquet, who had a very good game against a certain side in the FA Cup, gets promoted, and we keep doing what we're doing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we've got any evidence to back that up. It's not like we've got Fofana, Castagne, and all these players ripping it up in this. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, we do have them players. So he talks out of his rear end. I don't listen to anything he has to say when it comes to clubs to try and stir rubbish, because you can try and get a conversation started and then there's just making nonsense like that. I'm sorry, Vardy does not collapse the team if he doesn't play. We've seen it when we won the title and we've seen it tonight. So laughable. Next question, please. Adrian Durham. Not to the person who commented, by the way. The person who commented, thanks for bringing that up. I meant the bloke on Talk Poop. Who said that. That's my thoughts on it.
I just take everything on Talk, and I go on TalkSport and I have a laugh and a joke with them. It's the same with Jason Cundy. Like I say, take what they say with a pinch of salt, because they are there to get a reaction, and that will get Leicester fans ringing in, and that's how these talk shows, social media sites, everybody survives. I want to, and I'll throw this at Josh first because he'll probably keep it a little bit brief. But Perez today,
I'll be honest, mate. I think a lot of people sort of are like, because we're that used to Vardy playing, and especially neutrals are used to seeing Vardy playing. He can't really compare the two because Perez is obviously a totally different player. He was just bang average.
For me, he didn't even have. I mean, against Bradford, like we said in the pre-show, he had Brentford. Sorry, he had 3 shots at goal, 3 on target, made the keeper work. I didn't see much of him today.
No, he was very quiet, mate. He was very, very quiet. I can't think of a chance that he actually had, to be honest. I really, really can't think of anything that he did. He wasn't awful, but he didn't stand out. It was just bang average, really. I think he just it felt like he sort of just made the numbers tonight. Really, do you know what I mean?
Brad, dare I ask you? Hang on, let me get the mute button ready for the swearing.
I don't know. I almost felt like Perez was a decoy tonight, because I think to a point, Everton knew that we weren't going to play Perez the way we played Vardy. He wasn't going to run in behind a defence like Vardy. He was there almost as a false striker entirely, let alone a false nine. He was just a false striker out and out. I think we actually played sort of like a Scotland. Do you remember when they once put, I think, 5 at the back and 6 in midfield against Spain and 0 at front or whatever it was? It was kind of like that. It was kind of like we didn't have a striker because they're not best that we've got. And I just think, he didn't do anything inspiring. He didn't do anything to catch the eye. He didn't do anything to warrant. Normally you think your best players out. A person like Perez, who a lot of fans have been screaming, he doesn't play in his natural position. He's a more striker, more of a cam player. We didn't roll his sleeves up and do anything tonight. And maybe he was a decoy. Maybe the idea was to kind of confuse them with why we're playing Perez so much that Barnes and Maddison had a bit more freedom to get forward, and they were the attacking options because they got more of the ball than him. Like Josh said, he didn't really do much. He didn't really get much of it.
I'm going to say something.
I must admit, Brad, like you say, full well, I'm one of them that calls for Perez to play, and I'm always one that says he's played out of position. But I have to agree with you tonight, mate. I can't really defend him. As I say, he weren't bad, he weren't good. He just didn't.
He weren't bad.
Anything. He just didn't do anything, did he? Really? He just. I can't remember one moment of the game where he really did anything of value. To be honest with you, really, it's just one of them, weren't it?
And if anything, tonight, I know we mentioned it on the Twitter and Instagram, didn't we, Chris? That Iniacho didn't get any minutes, and I think today you've just kind of gave Perez the opportunity to kind of completely knock Nacho down the pecking order and out of the running to be back up to Vardy, and now Nacho's probably got another chance with the next game coming up.
Talking of Nacho, I mean, we said on the pre-show I was surprised he's not started in either the FA Cup or this game, which makes me think he might have gone down the pecking order. But I must admit, got to about 60 minutes, and I was thinking of you, Brad, which is probably means I definitely need to get out more, I tell you. But I was actually thinking what you said the other week, like, could we do with Iniacho coming on here? Because and I obviously prefer Perez to Iniacho, but I was thinking that. What should he not have come on today, or is that just me? Either of you guys on that?
I think personally, the reason he didn't come on today was indeed his injury. If indeed he didn't come off, and on indeed his injury, and with apparently it is just a tight strain, that impact of the big injuries in last season, I think you're seeing that Brendan Rodgers isn't taking a risk. He's not letting him, get a soak on it and try and run it off and come back on. He'd rather take his players off and get the reliable Mendy to come on. And I think because that substitution kind of meant that Brendan only had 2 tactical changes, and one of them you could see, because he was talking to him all the way through before he came on, he already had plans to bring Under on to give us that extra pace on the wing, who had a good game as well, Under, when he came on. I don't think he wanted to twist it and give Nacho a run out. I think he'd rather go, Perez, get 2 games, I can rest you unless you do something big in this game, because I need to keep fresh ideas going forward. And I do think his underwhelming performance tonight will put Nacho in front of the order, unless you go Barnes and Under starts, because Under has started to get more minutes since his return from injury.
Yeah. Facebook user here saying we had used all our subs. Yeah, the point I was making was could he have come on instead of, I mean, Under came on for Brighton, who wasn't having a particularly good game. So Soyuncu replaced Evans. I think that was purely tactical, Josh. Would you have brought Iniacho on?
It'd been interesting to see if Johnny Evans hadn't to that to have gone off. Because he looked like, I mean, I don't know if he took on again as a precaution or not, because he seemed to have said something to Brendan Rodgers as he came off. So, excuse me, whether he picked up a bit of a knock. I I think it were a game where the thing is with Iheanacho, like I say, strength-wise, he obviously divides opinion. But he's not. He's pretty good at holding the ball up, and I think we could have done with it. It's a game we could have done with it in really, because you've seen first half, Harvey Barnes, he were running to him, getting in behind, and obviously when we brought under on, he were having a go at him as well. So yes and no really. It's hard to say. Like I say, with obviously Evans going off, and we'd have if he answered on it, we'd have had the extra sub, but maybe because it seemed like we were going more for the win than what they were, so we could have done.
I still have a sneaky feeling that he may be departing the club before Monday, and maybe somebody from Celtic coming the other way, and a bit of a swap deal going on. We should. Hey, I'm on a roll. I got the score right today, so I'm on a roll. You never know. I could be right with that one. Brad, Tielemans' goal. Everybody, well, all the papers and everybody is saying Pickford error.
Well, it was, weren't it, really? I mean, yeah, it came for a sea of legs, but he should have saved that. But I've always liked Pickford, you know. I've always thought he's a charitable goalkeeper that loves to make howlers in big games, and that's why Everton aren't quite there at the top of the trees in our sort of area. You know, it's lovely to see an Englishman with pride just letting the likes of, you know, the Belgians come in and just have a laugh of him, because he's had his pants down a few times when he's played against Belgians, and he doesn't like playing against them. Maybe we shouldn't want them in group stages and that, because he seems to concede daft goals when he plays against them, doesn't he? Quite a lot of Belgians score past him. So I'm happy with it. And we deserved it. Maybe it was a bit of karma, because I think Everton were having about 4 horseshoes up the rear end, keeping a 1-0 lead against us at that point.
I mean, the BT, I don't know whether you guys were watching BT or another one. I mean, it literally was Josh, the commentators were saying, you know, it's Leicester. We kept going at them. Yeah, Everton had an odd 5-10 minutes in, an odd 5-10 minutes there when they sort of put a bit of pressure, you know, put a bit of pressure on us. They actually got out their own half, let's just say that. But we could still be playing now probably against that Everton side, and we wouldn't have got another one. They literally were just sat behind that ball.
I made a comment on my Facebook page that we genuinely could have played my newborn 2-day-old niece in goal for Casper tonight, and it wouldn't have made any difference. They were so negative; it was unbelievable. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know if that's. I've not watched much of Everton this season, to be honest with you, so I can't really say how they play. But I'm really surprised that how negative. Even at 1-1, like you could see, we wanted to go for the win. We were pushing for the win, and they were quite happy and content to sit back. Listen, if they're your tactics and it works for you, then fair play. But as the home team and the attacking players that they've got in their side, I expected a lot more from them. It would just. They were just really poor, really, really poor, and I don't know. I just thought it was really negative football from them.
18 shots for us, Brad.
Yeah, you know, it just shows the dominance of the game. I mean, I don't know how many of them were on target. We didn't trouble Pickford too much in that first half. Fights was 5 on target. Let's look at it more that way. We had 5 shots on target, 1 at the back of the net, and on another night, a few more would have as well, because, you know, in case of what I said earlier, and I 100% as well agree with Josh, that I was so surprised at how poor Everton were. There was only ever going to be one side, even at 0-0, even at 1-0 down, even at 1-1. I thought if there's going to be a winner, there's only one team that's coming away with 3 points tonight, because that surprised me. And the thing is, it was such a bad defensive, you know, 20 men behind the ball performance that you're thinking that's not because there's no crowd. That's a manager telling the players that's how they want to play. I think it was more a fear of losing. They knew before kickoff, don't lose this game because this is a good side. Maybe that's what the plan was, because crowd or not, I would love to hear Everton fans how they would have reacted seeing their team play like that against us at 1-1 going into that last 10-15 minutes.
The BT commentator, who he actually said exactly the same, the way Leicester were playing would the Everton, had Everton had a crowd in, would they be getting on their backs? I don't know. I wanted to get on, and I'm not criticising him as a commentator, but if he calls him Tillemans once more, I'm going to go down to BT Sport and slap him. It's Tillemans, not Tillemans. But hey, we're just going to have a quick 10-second break, and we'll come and have a look at the table. And it's not as bad as it could have been. We'll be back after this. He says, famous last word. I think that worked in the end. I know Brad's been chomping at the bit with this one. Let's have a look at the table. We're still third. Even had we lost, we would have stayed third. We're only a point behind Man United. I think there's somebody we've got to thank for that, Brad.
Yeah. I've always liked Sheffield United. I've always said good things about them. They're like Pitford. They're a very good side. They like to help out everybody every now and then. They might be going down to the Championship, but they're going to do it with some annoying styles. But that just proves that we're the invisible, so we don't exist. So we'll take us out of the conversation. Manchester United were apparently running, and even though they were games in hand with Man City, they were running away with the league according to a lot of media sources. You'd have thought they were 30 points clear the way they were going on about them, and all of a sudden a nice little trip from Sheffield United comes along and messes them up. So if you're feeling a bit gutted about not getting all 3 points, it could have been worse. We could have lost Sheffield United tonight.
Josh, that was Man United's Leicester Fulham game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it goes to show that literally this season anybody can beat anybody. I think looking at that Man United result tonight, it's made me look back on the Fulham result and think, God, it weren't. Maybe we overreacted a bit with that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's literally, like I say, it's literally a case of it's such a strange season, and some of the results have just been absolutely crazy. So I was surprised by their result tonight. But again, the way the season's going, it didn't come as a massive shock. I think it's definitely brought the red half of Manchester back down to earth. Anyway, put it that way. So, but it's still tight up there. It's still close. But you fully expect Man City to win their game in hand, and they'll probably extend the lead a bit. But
yeah, I mean Tottenham and Everton, if they win their 2 games in hand, they could still catch us up. Tottenham having sort of the better goal difference, but I'd sooner have the points on the table than the games in hand. Now, will you do me a favour, Josh? Every week you've been saying, and we talked about this in the pre-match, that we're going to score a goal this week from the corner. So you tried a bit of reverse psychology and said we're not going to score a goal, and you were dead right. We didn't score a goal from the corner. Can you just not mention it at all next week and see what happens?
I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to start going to church and praying and all sorts, because...
No, sorry, I can't give them sort of requests, mate, and prayers. I'm sick of hearing from you.
I'm gonna have to start praying to the Church of Brad, I think.
That never stops me laughing. I'm sorry, Brad. That just never stops me. I'm going to laugh at that every time.
Was it like 11 corners tonight and not one of them troubled? It's like we played so many short corners tonight, and I just think to myself, like...
Yeah, 11 corners we had.
Like, Johnny Evans and Wesley Fofana must think, like, not being funny, what's the point in us going up? Do you know what I mean?
That is what I said all game, Josh. Spot on, I said that. Yeah. I said Fofana and Evans must be going up to that pitch going, what's the point? It's just going to go out. I agree. Yeah. Sorry, mate. I had to interrupt because that's what I was saying all game near the corner.
I'm glad you agree, mate. It's just really frustrating because we know Maddison's got in his locker to put in a good ball, but I think it's sort of told tonight when he had a couple of free kicks in a good position. They both came to nothing. And the thing is,
let's take him off him.
When under came on, especially free kicks from like the right hand side with him being left footed and he could swing them in. We didn't choose that option. It was just Maddison playing it short to him every time. And as a centre back, having to run all the way up the pitch, and you're thinking, like, 9 times out of 10, it's not really going to beat the first man. It's just frustrating, mate, especially that many corners and to not test the keeper once. It's just it's annoying more than anything. It's pathetic.
It is.
Chandau Dave is just asking, what's an update on arrivals and departures at Leicester? Chandu, we don't know, but we've got a few days left, and on when is it now? On Monday night from 9 till 11. Brad's joining me. We're going to do, and Josh and everybody else is welcome. We're going to be doing a bit of a long special on the transfer window. Hopefully they won't send everybody home at 8 and make it not worth doing. So tune in Monday night, same place, same channel, and watch the Leicester Till I Die transfer special. Guys, man of the match. Let's have a look at what Alan went for here. Harvey Barnes, which is pretty much what Robbie Savage went for. He actually said it was difficult to find one outstanding player on the pitch, but he did go for Harvey Barnes, as indeed has Alan, and he's given the manager 8 and the team 8. Josh, first of all, agree, disagree?
I'll give my man of the match to Yuri Tielemans. I could see why he gave it to Harvey Barnes. I thought Barnes had a good game. Like you say, and you gotta agree with Robbie Savage. Really, nobody really did anything to stand out. I'll give it Tielemans purely for not only his equaliser, but I thought he kept the game ticking over well. His passing was as good as ever. Yeah, it was hard to pick today. Team performance wise, I don't think you can't say we weren't positive and we weren't on the front foot because we tried to win the game. So 8 for team performance and 8 for manager. Yeah, I'd agree with that, definitely.
Brad?
Yeah, I'd agree with it. I think it was one of them performances. I don't think we did a lot wrong apart from not finding a second goal to grab all 3 points in the end. So I can't fault the manager. I think an 8 is fine for him. I think he got things tactically right. The team performance was there. It was very good. So, again, an 8's fair. And I think if you had to pick someone that maybe stood out more than the other 10 players on the pitch, I think Harvey Barnes was just ahead of that, especially in that second half. Is there something tactical? I don't know if it's just me that picks up on it or maybe I only see it certain bits of it. But Harvey Barnes seems to stick to the left side for one half and then depending on maybe if we take the lead, it changes. I don't know. But recently, I've just noticed one half he seems to be wide player and not cut in as much, and then in the second half he seems to be a bit more venturous. So I don't know. But tonight he sort of stood out when he started going forward a bit more. What was that?
Josh?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think you're right, Brad. I think, like I say, you notice, as you say, second half of games he tends to play a bit more centrally, and it'd be interesting to see whether it's worth sticking him up front for a game, trying something different. I don't know whether you could do that or not because he's having a cracking season out wide. So it's hard to say really, but yeah, I've noticed that before. I think as the game goes on and maybe defenses are tiring and such, he definitely tends to be cut in a lot more, and he does play a lot more centrally.
Now, you went for 3-1. Josh.
Yeah.
Never buy me a lottery ticket because you got the corner goal and the score. Brad, what did you go for this week?
Oh, I made some ludicrous predictions all around. I think I went 3-0, 3-1 and 4-1 at one point to Leicester. And yeah, don't ask me for lottery numbers because I'll give you all numbers that don't exist in the lottery. That's the case.
Well, can I just say, and I think this is only the second time I've actually got the result right, but I think I actually went for 1-1 there, along with Steve Lynex. And I've got to be honest with you, Steve Lynex, bless him, was that impressed that he got one right, and that's the first one he's got right all season. He actually messaged me after the game saying, "Yeah, I've got the score right." So, well done to Steve, and well done to me. Let me just say. And guys, if you are going to be watching the post-match show on Sunday, I'm trying to think what time the kickoff is, but we're playing Leeds on Sunday, and the post-match show, hopefully Steve Lynex is going to be on that with us. Julian can't make it. Oh, it's a 4:30 kickoff, so about 6:50 we'll be doing the post-match show, and hopefully Steve Lynex will be joining us. I want to say thank you to Josh, aka Tyson Fury. Thank you to Brad, aka.
No worries. I'm just going to have a fight with him on box office.
God, I don't know if you saw this earlier. Let's just do this once more.
Now, you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now, go away.
That's flat, mate. Honestly, I was quite upset at the attitude. I really was. But hey, guys, thank you very much. See you on Sunday. Pre and post match for the Leeds game.
Yeah, and just remember, guys, after the post match, it's going to be the Son of God versus the Gypsy King live box office. We only asked for £5 a night. Don't worry, we'll set it all up. You can pay for the fight. We'll have a virtual social distancing fight, me and you, mate.
That's it. We'll have to start trash talking each other over Facebook in there to give it a bit of build up, hey?
Well, I can see all the videos and the memes going through my mind now, mate. Don't give me ideas. Guys, stay safe. Have a good rest of the week, and I will see you on Sunday.
Cheers, chaps. Have a good Sunday.
Take care, guys. Stay safe.
Yeah.
So thanks very much to Josh for joining us, and Brad, as always, who's absolutely excellent on these shows. And thank you very much, Brad, for joining us. Hey, we've got another game coming up on Sunday. It is Leeds United, and we'll be back. And you can catch us, like I say, we are on YouTube at Leicester Till I Die TV. Please go on, and if you're watching on there, if you're not watching on there, please give us a little subscribe. Help us with those numbers. We'd love you forever. So just give us a subscribe, Leicester Till I Die TV. And of course, all our shows go on to podcast, and you can get us on any of the major podcasts, including Google, Apple iTunes, Spotify, and Anchor, to name just 4. So Brad's probably gone off now to do a bit of changing wine back into water. Don't blame him. Guys, we didn't lose. We got the draw. Probably would have, well, I would have taken that at the start because that's what I predicted. I'm back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with the Opposition View show when we'll be talking to a Leeds fan. Back on Friday night at 7 with the preview show with Craig. And back pre and post match with Josh and Brad on Sunday with the post-match show. So take care of yourselves, guys. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for all your comments. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you tomorrow night at 7. Bye now.
Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.